I prefer hands down Android over iPhone. Okay, now in the past I've had X's with iPhones. Okay, so I've played around with the iPhone, and I grew to despise it, loathe it, hate it with a passion. Okay, so if you're an iPhone user, maybe don't watch this video because you might get offended. But if you want to be entertained and you know it's completely a joke and don't take things personal, then feel free to watch it. But I do feel, I do feel strongly that Android is better. The flagship Samsung phones are better than Apple's best iPhone. Okay, so first off, what I hate about iPhone is the fact that they do not give me the option for me to choose how I want to log into the device. Okay, they don't have a fingerprint scanner. It's either Face ID or it's a pin. So I would be traveling, right? I've been to 42 countries. I've lived in 6 countries. I've lived in Germany, the Caribbean, Colombia, Mexico, Australia, Thailand. Maybe in the future I might go to New Zealand. Who knows? And I would be on the plane. It would be pitch black. An iPhone user would be on the flight, pull out his iPhone. Because it's pitch black, the Face ID doesn't work. So guess what? In front of everyone, he needs to now put his 4-digit PIN or whatever. Now, call me paranoid, but I don't like it when people can easily see what my PIN is, right? So at least if it's a smartphone, give me the option to choose how I want to log into the phone. It's my phone. So with the flagship Samsung Android phones, I have everything enabled. I have face recognition, I have fingerprint, I have PIN, everything is enabled. So when I pull up my phone, if the Face ID, if the face recognition picks my face up first, it unlocks the phone immediately. If it takes a second or two, my fingerprint's already on the phone and it's unlocked. Whichever one works fastest, it unlocks the phone. Everything is enabled, right? That's what I love about Samsung versus iPhone. Just say, like, it's the things you do every single day. Like, and this goes back to self-improvement. It's like you want to fix the things in your life that you do you want to optimize the things you do every single day in your life, because that's how you the compound effect. That's how you get ahead, by fixing the little tiny things that you do every day. Because if you're going to be doing that every day, you might as well do it the most efficient way possible, because that's going to save you a whole bunch of time in the long run. If you have to optimize, a routine, because it compounds over time, because you're going to be doing it for years on end, you're going to be saving so much time by just simply having that routine dialed in and not wasting any second, any extra effort, because over 40 years that time adds up, that energy adds up, right? We could be allocating that elsewhere in other ventures, in other ideas, right? So so that's number one. I don't like that they don't have a fingerprint scanner. Okay, sometimes the Face ID doesn't work. Come on, Apple. Come on. Why? Oh, but some people say, oh, but because it's for security reasons. Okay, fair. I've personally never lost. I'm not clumsy. I'm very organized. Like I never. I can't remember the last time I lost something. For me, everything has a home. Everything has a home, and I've trained myself that way, because I have lost things in the past, like years and years and years and years ago. And I would beat myself up anytime I lost something. And guess what? Over time, you just learn, I will not lose anything ever again. So when it comes to security and this and that, I don't know. I never really had an issue with, and I've got Samsung laptops, computers. I've never had any issue. My laptop right now is a Samsung. I've had it almost 10 years now. Never had an issue with it. It was like $1,600 for that Samsung laptop. So the point I'm making, all the flagship Samsung devices, bro, they're in my opinion just as good. Now, obviously, with everything, there's certain things that Apple does better, right, than Samsung. But for me, the overall thing, like the things I'm going to be doing daily, I'd rather have a phone that does those things better. And because every now and then, like, okay, people say Apple Drop or iCloud Drop or whatever the thing where Apple users can send things to each other, blah. Okay, fair enough. But how often am I going to really be using that? And Samsung has its equivalent, right? And then when it comes to like media, okay, maybe Apple has everything synchronized and everything is sort of connected. Okay, the ecosystem is great. I understand that, all good, but I'd rather have what Samsung has to offer and pass up on those things. I mean, it makes sense if you're if that's a core part of your day to day of your work and so on. But in my particular case, it's not. Another thing I hate about Apple devices is the fact that the back button placement. Like in Samsung phones, okay, the flagship phones, the Android phones, it's the way I hold my phone. It's closest to where my thumb is at. It's on the bottom right. So I just click back, 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 back. With iPhone, the I need to literally all the way to the top left every single time. It's like it's so uncomfortable. Like you know how many times I'm gonna hit the back button on the iPhone? It's ridiculous. I have to like. I was using my ex's iPhone. I would hate to go back. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. It was. I hated where the back button placement is. You know. And I remember in the early days where phones became water resistant. I remember it took Apple years to catch on. I remember the Samsung first water resistant phone. Apple was like, if not 2 years behind before they actually came out with their water resistant phone. Another thing I like about the Samsung class is they got a pen. Like I literally have a pen I can pull out and write notes. I can literally, if I want to make edits on Canva on my phone, I can be more precise with the pen. I love the pen. It's great. Another thing so yeah, the Macs, the computers, bro. I don't know what it is. My ex had an iMac, right? Whatever it's called, Apple Mac, fuck, whatever. And guess what? Anytime she would open, I don't know if this was a knowledge thing. I don't know if we couldn't, but it was. Even if it's not like I didn't know how to fix it, bro. I spent hours trying to figure out Google, YouTube. How the fuck do I fix this on Apple? And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't figure out how to fix it. And that alone is telling that it's not beginner friendly. It's I was so frustrated using Apple, right? So so I would open her iMac, and I would open a browser, and the browser would only open like 50% of the screen. Like it would open as a small tab, and then I would have to take an extra step to click expand so that it would expand the entire size of the screen. I hated that. Why the fuck would Apple make it that by default you freaking open a browser and it always opens it 50% of the size of the screen? It's like I've bought the screen size, a 16-inch screen or whatever it is, a 14-inch screen, to use the fucking full real estate. Why would you only? And I couldn't fix the bloody thing. So if you know how to fix it, please let me know because I tried. It's people say, oh, iPhone is beginner friendly. Bullshit. Beginner friendly, my ass. I could never figure out how to bloody make that thing expand fully. There are a couple of the things I really dislike about Apple. Like in the early days, memory was a thing, bro. Like the Samsung phones, at least it came with expandable storage, so it didn't limit me. Like I don't know, I try, even though we're all emotional and shit, and then we justify our decisions with logic and blah blah blah, all that good stuff. But I like to make my decisions with as much logic as possible. So for me, okay, Samsung had the expandable storage. Now it doesn't have expandable storage, so I buy the 500 gigabytes of memory, right? But I didn't like that about the memory. I didn't like the water resistance. I didn't like the back button. I didn't like the fact that there's no fingerprint scanner. Like I just did not like. I hated Apple, and I think I'll tell you what. Apple does marketing way better than Samsung. They've got a much stronger brand, you know. So that's why everyone loves it. It's more like a status symbol, you know. It's more like a status symbol, and a lot of people, oh, if you're an Android user, you're broke and this and that. Like, look, bro. Look at the phone that Warren Buffett uses. I think he's like the most simple phone. Like, come on, you know. Obviously, I think most, especially the ones who make fun of it, the influencers, the big guys in the space, bro. They know it's just controversy. They know it gets views. It goes viral. Obviously, they're just capitalizing on. They're clever marketers. Come on, they're clever marketers. So, obviously, iPhone has pros, iPhone has cons, and so does Samsung, so does Android. But yeah, that was my take on Samsung versus Android. I'm biased because, like everyone's a bit biased, but Android was the first phone that I got. and I'm happy that I use an Android, a Samsung. Now, mind you, there are Android phones that are shit because they're cheap, right? So Android doesn't just cater to like high end users; it caters to like the entire industry. So I'm specifically talking about high end flagship Samsung Android phones. So yeah, let me know what you think. Are you an Android user? What do you think about my objections? Are they valid? Do you agree? Do you wish your iPhone had a freaking fingerprint scanner? If you're gonna pay freaking $1,200 for a freaking smartphone, it ain't too smart if you don't have a freaking fingerprint scanner. Like if you don't have the freedom of choice, you don't have fucking freedom, my friend. Okay? You need to choose how you want to log into your device. You need to have the fingerprint scanner because what if the freaking Face ID no longer works? What if your phone gets stolen and the only way to unlock it and all the if you get if someone wants to unlock your phone, they just need to hold it up to your face and then you're fucked. Then what? Anyway, let me know what you think. Android versus Apple. Um, if you're an Android user, we can be friends. If you're an iPhone user, we can't be. I'm just kidding. Of course, we can be friends. Right? I'm not that crazy. Nah, bro. I'm just playing. Most of my friends, especially in the entrepreneur space, they all have iPhones, bro. They've all got iPhones. It's like a status thing too, you know. Because I've had this conversation with friends, bro, and they're like, I hate iPhone with a passion, motherfucker. With a passion. No, it's funny. It's funny to have debates with them about, you know, and we're good friends, you know. So we have fun with it. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and yeah, it's something to talk about. You know, it's just entertaining. We tend to be dramatic because it's boring if you're not dramatic. Like if you want to be my friend, I like people who tend to exaggerate, who tend to be overly dramatic, intense, you know, who don't take themselves too seriously, who they know how to take a joke, they have a funny bone, you know, they don't take themselves too seriously because if you take everything too seriously, it's a sign of insecurity. And no one wants to be around someone who's too insecure, you know? People want someone who's authentic, vulnerable, who and if you're authentic and vulnerable, you can make fun of yourself because you know you're a flawed human being and you've accepted that and you've embraced it and it's part of who you are and it shows character. You know, people like that when you own who you are, when you own your life experiences, when you own, you know, the things you're not good at, and you still show up as yourself. It's like it puts you in your own league. You're not trying to compete with other people. You're in your own league, and that alone is such an attractive trait. So yeah, not to go back into personal development, but it's so true. Like if you want to become the best version of yourself, you need to operate from a place of, okay, I'm in my own league. I'm not playing someone else's game. Okay, you walk around with a different level of confidence, with a different swag, with a different energy, with a different aura. Okay, and it just radiates that confidence, that positivity, that optimism, that, you know, certainty, that purpose. You know, people shake your hand, people talk to you and like, okay, this guy has purpose, this guy is on a mission, this guy has drive, this guy has life, this guy I want to. And another thing, if you want to network, right, I have a lot of people reaching out to me saying, hey, listen, I want to hang out and this and that, or I want to meet up, you know, so I can get some ideas on what to do, and we can, you know, brainstorm, and you know, I want you to help me, and this. It's like, bro, listen, here's a hack for you guys, and which I'm gonna do with people I want help from, people I want to network with, people who I want to be mentored by, right? So this applies to me just like it's gonna apply to you, right, bro? People like to help other people who first like sorry, people like to help others who first help themselves. Okay? So I don't mind carrying a man, but I don't want him dragging his feet. So if you're looking to befriend, or if you're looking to network or hang out with people who you want to be friends with, people who you find cool, people who you genuinely want to get to know, because I'll tell you what, entrepreneurship is such a lonely space. It's very lonely. So a lot of, like me, a lot of creators, a lot of influencers, they genuinely want to find other creators, other influencers, other people, other entrepreneurs in the same space as them. we want to make friends with cool people, right? Like I would always, anywhere, anytime I go to a new country, I would always log into Facebook and create a post saying, "Hey, I'm in whatever Bali, Phuket, wherever, looking to meet some like-minded people." I put out a list of things that I'm looking for in other people, things that I'm not interested in, and so on. And then I'd find other like-minded people who are on the same path as me, on the same mission as me, because entrepreneurship is very lonely. So obviously, not just me, but other influencers, they want to find like-minded people as well. So instead of just being like, "Hey, yeah, bro, let's hang out," and da da da, what incentive would they have to want to hang out with you? Like, have you even tried helping yourself first before asking him to help you? Come on, like, you need to be like, okay, well, if you want to optimize your life so that it increases your chances of finding these quality people who you want to befriend and work with and do business with and hang out with, make friends with. You want to be like, so when I see someone, right, and they're like, they put themselves out there, they're trying something, they started a page, they started a brand, you know, they're actually doing something where I'm like, I see what this guy's trying to do. I see what this girl is trying to do. I like her energy. I like her passion. I like her enthusiasm. I like the fact that, she's actually trying to help herself. I would love to get to know this person. This would be so cool because you actually showcase, that we have things in common. We have similar interests, right? Because at the end of the day, this is something it took me a while to learn, right? But I learned this a few years ago. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I do not like it when people are too transactional. I hate it. Like, even with my coaching clients, it's like I try to be as, I don't know if this is a word, but as untransactional as possible. Okay, I hate being too transactional. So I would always, all my interactions, I try to be, another way to say it is I don't like to be corporate. I don't like to be too transactional. I like it to be like, look, and maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, and who knows. But I like to be more like, hey, look, we're yes, we're doing business, but with the possibility of being friends. So it's like we're more like buddies hanging out, chit chatting. I'm giving you advice, and we're growing together. I like that dynamic, right? And yeah, so like if I think I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? Anyway, so if I see someone who's putting themselves out there, who's trying something, immediately I know that this person has something in common with me because I've been there. So I see that in them and I'm like, wow, that's respectable. That's admirable. Like even now when I go traveling and I see other creators and they post travel, it still inspires me. So the point I'm making is if you want to find friends, if you want to find people in the entrepreneurs, other people you want to hang out with, you need to first become the person. Oh yeah, I remember now what I was saying. So it took me a while to realize this, but I don't like it when interactions are too transactional. But I've learned that everything in life is an exchange. Okay, I just know where I draw the line when it comes in terms of transactional. Like you need to know where you draw the line in terms of transaction, right? So when it comes to friendships, romantic relationships, family, everything is what they call a value exchange. So it is transactional to some degree. On some level, everything is transactional. Everything is an exchange. It could be the fact that your friend makes you feel good, whatever it is, it's still an exchange. If there was no exchange, then that's a one-sided relationship. And a one-sided relationship, guess what, is not a relationship. A relationship is a two-way street. So on some level, if you understand that everything is a value exchange, then you understand that you need to exchange something. And the thing you're going to exchange is literally the things you have in common with that person, the interests, the fact that you're on the same path, that you're actually trying to help yourself before asking for help. You need to showcase some sort of, admirable traits or attributes, or, in order for someone else to be like, oh, I would love to hang out with this person, or this person seems cool, or I like this person's energy. once you understand that everything is a value exchange, and you need to be worthy of, you know, being friends with this person, or being in a romantic relationship with this person, then you realize, okay, now you have some sort of like something approximating a roadmap, some sort of blueprint to follow in order for you to actually, because like right now, right, if I reach out to people on Instagram with my hybrid pages, people can immediately check out my profile, my highlights, listen to my story. They see what I'm trying to do. They get an idea, a feel of who I am as a person, what my values are, what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish with the brand, what my interests are, what the core philosophy of my brand, of my life is. They can vibe with me, they cannot. It's like, so you obviously, you like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? And neither are you, but nobody is. So you're going to attract, and that's like a magnet, right? A magnet is literally, it attracts and it also repels. So you need to repel people, but you also will attract at the same time. So think of yourself like a magnet, your brand as like a magnet. I'm going to get up because it's, my foot's a bit numb. So yeah, once you understand that everything is a value exchange, and you need to bring some sort of value to the exchange if you want to, because I have people reaching out to me saying, hey bro, yeah, let's hang out. I'm like, bro, life is short, right? Why the hell would I want to hang out with you? And don't take it, I'm just using him as an example, right? This guy. Why would I want to hang out with you if, when I check out your page, we have nothing in common? We don't share the same values. We don't have any interest in common. Like, come on, I'd much rather hang out with other like-minded people, right? So it's like, start thinking of networking as simply a value exchange, and the more value you have to offer, the more likely it is that people will want to hang out with you for the right reason. But then you need to sort of balance transaction, because you're going to meet a lot of people who just want to be transactional. And you can, I'm not saying I'm against it, right? I'm just saying, once I recognize and I spot the red flags in someone who's too transactional, I still interact with them, don't get me wrong, but I manage my expectations, and I don't set myself up for being used in that way. Because that's the thing, people are very, very skeptical. People are like, you realize that, wow, people just want, they don't want to give, and nobody wants to be friends or be in a relationship with someone who just wants, right? You want to give, and reciprocate, right? So maybe lead with that first. You want to first showcase that you're actually on the same path as them, that you're the kind of person who's willing to do the things, because otherwise, the people you want to hang out with, they don't want to hang out with people who are not, as driven. Or, and I'm not saying, maybe that was a wrong example. Like, I'm not saying you have to be I'm not a Gary V where hustle, right? I'm not a Gary V, but still, yeah, like, you need to show some sort of, a little bit of hustle. Come on, and the simple things that are free, that, like, people who go through my guide, my free training, and then they're like, oh, so they've gone through it, they do nothing, and then they message me months later saying, oh bro, can you help me, I need some advice. I'm like, bro, have you done steps 1 to 7? They're free, it costs nothing. Did you implement anything? And he's like, oh no bro. I'm like, bro, it's been 2 months, I can't help you. If you're not even willing to I don't even want to be your friend. I don't even want to coach you anymore. Truly. Like, why the hell? You're not an action taker. People, if you want to befriend an action taker, and you're not an action taker, good luck. It's not going to work out.